We be live again today. By the way, guys, things are changing very fast, so I'm going live more often. By the way, let me check how the audio is. Okay, I forgot to actually connect this. Entering a new phase of the war. Things are changing much faster than any most people anticipated. Apparently, this is just the beginning. Okay, audio is fixed. How's my audio, guys? Can you guys hear me? So yeah, actually, somebody in the chat was saying, "Look at me." So Jono in the chat is saying, "Okay, I'm very surprised that this pop up. Yeah, I haven't seen anything about Israel continuing the war in the news. I thought it was over. Apparently, it's not over. Apparently, Jono. Apparently, it's not over. Apparently, it's the this is just the beginning. Because let me actually read to you why the defense minister of Israel, whose name is Katz, Israel Katz, he posted he posted something on Twitter saying, "My advice to the defanged or basically toothless, there's snakehead in Tehran, is this: take heed. Operation Rising Lion was only a preview of a new Israeli doctrine. After October 7th, your immunity is over." And in the same message, he basically instructed the IDF to prepare a comprehensive plan to counter Iran, basically Islamic Republic, focusing on maintaining air superiority, preventing nuclear renewal, and delivering strong responses to terrorism support. So basically, and guys, it gets actually more insane than this. Basically, the same thing we predicted here on this channel, which is the repetition of what happened in Lebanon. So there's a ceasefire, which is not really a ceasefire. Didn't we say, guys, on this channel, this happened in Gaza? They said there's a ceasefire, but basically Israel continued to have some operations in Gaza, even though technically, like they so there was a ceasefire in Lebanon. There was a ceasefire, but Hezbollah operate. People continued people continued were continued to be taken out by Israel, left and right for different reasons. I mean, the good thing about these terrorists is that they kept giving Israel good enough excuses to go back in, and now the defense minister of Israel is basically suggesting that this is exactly what they're going to be doing, exactly the same thing with, I mean, he even mentioned Lebanon. He even mentioned Lebanon and Syria as examples of how this is going to continue. So, and actually, it gets more intense than that. So, let me actually go over some of these. Let me actually see what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, basically, yeah, it's no ceasefire. It's not a ceasefire. I mean, it's like it's only a ceasefire to the in the sense that there's not going to be bombardments and full head-to-head confrontational war, but espionage operations and drones and commandos and spies and assassinations of key figures and basically strategic explosions here and there without having planes maybe um, maybe that those types of operations are going to continue. Also, as the defense minister in Israel is suggesting, they're not going to let the Islamic Republic get control back over its airspace. So this air superiority that they have, the complete control that they have, they just want to keep that. They just want to be able to do whatever they want in Iran at any time, and they want to make sure that the Islamic Republic doesn't regain control over any of that airspace, uh, which means that they're going to continue being there. And every time they see any air defense mechanism or anything, any type of activity that they don't like, even with this ceasefire, they're going to come in and take it out. But actually, they seem to be suggesting that they're going to be doing more than that. Like they in this active, they're suggesting that what's going to happen in this new phase. They're saying the Operation Rising Lion, which was the first 12 days, that was just the beginning of what's about to come. Yeah, exactly. Darker saying the fun has just started. So they're saying like this was just a preview of their total plan. And by the way, another interesting thing that is completely in line with what we have said on this channel, it seems like Mossad is now in complete um, has made a move in the direction of investing in the Iranian people even more than before, which is very interesting because I mean, I keep saying that on this channel that that's how you do it, but because I'm Iranian and because I am an anti-regime activist, I mean, you guys cannot trust me because I might be biased, right? Because I want the Islamic Republic to fall. But now, given that Mossad is so actively now investing in the Iranian people, shows that I was right about this. I was right about this because there's a couple of things. Let me tell you. Mossad is now, so we already had the IDF actively directly communicating with the Iranian people. We already had that. But now we have a new Twitter account by Mossad, officially by Mossad, just started, which is communicating with the Iranian people and trying to be in direct communication with them. So it's not the IDF of Mossad, just started. So they opened a Farsi account, and now they're using that, and they use somebody. They had somebody on there, an Iranian Israeli, somebody who's both Iranian and Israeli. Menashe Amir came out and gave some talk to Iranian people. A video, they posted a video of Menashe Amir, which is interesting because Menashe Amir, I had him as a guest on the Persian channel. So the guy that Mossad just used to communicate to the Iranian people, to tell the Iranian people that Israel is their friend and they're trying to protect Iranian people, was a guest on our Persian channel. Oh, we got a super chat. Let me actually respond to this. Elad is saying, is there still hope for a free Iran? And if so, how can people help? Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, a free Iran is inevitable. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So, what we're not fighting for a free Iran happening or not. That is going to happen for sure, unless the world ends for some reason, right? But what we're fighting for is to bring it earlier, because every single second that the Islamic Republic is in power is a second too long, and it's a second that is a lot of Iranian people and a lot of people, Israeli people, and a lot of other people are going to be suffering more. So yes, Iran will be free one day, one way or another, but we're just fighting for it to happen sooner. For sure, it's going to happen. And if so, how can people help? If you're if you're Iranian, how you can help is by supporting Israel and by supporting Reza Pahlavi. If you're Israeli, is by constantly highlighting the fact that the war is not with the Iranian people, is with the regime, is with the Islamic Republic, and also familiarize yourself with Reza Pahlavi and advocate Reza Pahlavi in Israel as much as you possibly can. And also within Israel, another thing you could do is fight the Israelis who are supporting Kurdish separatists, because that will alienate the Iranian people and it will ruin the bond between the Iranian people and Israeli people. Okay, so do not support Kurdish separatists. Focus your support on Reza Pahlavi. Those are the things that you could do if you're Israeli, because Elad, I can see that you're Israeli, and thank you for asking. So the best hope for the Middle East is the unity between the Iranian people and Israeli people. And the best way an Israeli could do that, but to encourage that unity, is by supporting Reza Pahlavi, which I'm going to be doing a show on pretty soon, actually, on talking about the Pahlavis in general, right? But let me actually talk a little bit. Oh, let me see what else you guys are saying. Oh, Ahmed saying, Armin, have you seen the BBC article with the Tel Aviv photo they claimed is from Tehran? Well, that's not enough information. The Tel Aviv photo they claim, like, no, tell me more because I don't know what you're talking about. Yes. Yeah, okay. So actually, let me see what's happening here. Okay, let me actually tell you what else Mossad. So Mossad opened a Farsi account and told Iranians to avoid. Okay, so basically, Mossad is telling Iranians that they're going to be doing a lot more operations even after the ceasefire in Iran. They told Iranians to avoid IRGC bases, to basically not go close to them because they might go boom any moment, to avoid regime vehicles, and anyone suddenly getting a call from the IRGC. They even said We will do our utmost to ensure no harm comes to you. Right? And a lot of Iranians are appreciating that, by the way. Yes. And then, so Israel's Channel 11 and I-24 News confirmed that Mossad got Menashe Amir to help deliver the warnings. Again, somebody that I'm direct. This is so incredible because Menashe Amir was my guest on the Persian channel, and now he's on the first post by Mossad's new Twitter account talking to the Iranian people. That's crazy. Guys, I'm one step away from being a Mossad agent. I'm one step away from becoming a Mossad agent. Hire me, Mossad, hire me. Right? They also mentioned that the Persian speaking doctors would be available online to help Iranians in case anything happens to them. So phase two, Israel Katz, again, I mentioned the Israel's defense minister is talking about phase two starting. So the whole 12-day that we just saw was phase one. He ordered the IDF to maintain control over Iran's skies, said Israel will block Iran's nukes and missiles, called Khamenei a toothless snake in Tehran, mentioned the operation was just the beginning. And they're also suggesting that apparently they eventually will go for Khamenei and remove the head, which is fantastic. Oh, by the way, did you guys know that the whole Rising Lion operation, the name of the operation was supposed to be Red Wedding after that episode in Game of Thrones, and then they decided to change the name to uh, Rising Lion? Did you guys know that? There has to be a regime change. Yes, somebody's saying there has to be a regime change in Iran. Yep. I mean, eventually it will happen. It's important for the regime change to happen under Pahlavi because there are two ways that this could happen very badly. Okay, well, I mean, honestly, just one way. First of all, let me tell you, the whole people there. I know there are some Israelis that. I mean, that's less than before. I'm glad that most Israelis have abandoned focusing on that. But there used to be some Israelis focusing on Kurdish separatists. That will never get you anything. The only thing that would achieve would be to alienate Iranian, like to cause a divide between Iranians and Israelis. Okay, and let me promise you, most Kurdish Iranians are very patriotic and they're nationalistic and are very loyal to Iran's border integrity. So if you're focusing on Kurdish separatists, most Kurdish people in Iran um, do not like them. So you're basically focusing on something. It's basically as stupid as the Republicans who were supporting the MEK. It's really really dumb. Anybody who's doing that is really dumb. So uh, don't feed into that, right? But another dangerous thing is that if the Americans get convinced by the reformers in Iran that if you remove Khamenei and many key people in IRGC, you could just hand over the regime to the reformers and keep the Islamic Republic alive. That's a very dangerous other play that the reformers might be wanting to. Another move that the reformers in Iran might want to play with the Americans, and it's very important for Israelis not to let that happen. Oh, somebody saying Iran should be socialist. Hell no. Well, I could tell you that leftism is very unpopular in Iran. So I bet you that's not going to happen. I bet you that's not going to happen given how, I mean, they could have a party. We'll allow them to have a party in our parliament. That's all. But I hope they don't get that many seats given how unpopular leftism is in Iran these days. Yeah, but again, no, again, I think like in the future of Iran, there's two types of parties that would be illegal. There will be no communist parties and no Islamic parties. Oh, and also no separatist parties. Right? Those three parties. I mean, you have free speech as individuals. You could talk about them and advocate them. So you have that free speech as individuals, but no parties would be allowed to be focused with the Islamism or communism or separatism. However, Socialist Party, I think you could allow them to have a party in our parliament, but again, I don't think they're going to be very popular. John with the super chat, like folks foolishly say after Islamic Republic's fall, uh, chaos. What? Are these full sentence? When Islamic Republic caused much of the chaos in the okay, so I think what you're trying to say is a lot of people say after the Islamic Republic's fall there will be chaos. However, a lot of the a lot of the chaos is caused by the Islamic Republic. For example, in Iraq, there is no Sunni Islamist force at Iran's door either. Yeah, I mean, even if there is a little bit of chaos, I think there's not going to be much of a power vacuum because we have Reza Pahlavi and we have an organized team surrounding him already ready. So if you guys want less chaos, I mean, there's always going to be a little bit of chaos because obviously you're regime changing. But if you want to have the minimum amount of chaos, then just support Pahlavi. Just get around Pahlavi because he will fill that power vacuum. The only way you're going to have chaos is that if you support other people other than Reza Pahlavi, if you support the MEK, if you support Kurdish separatists, if you support the reformists, then you are going to be a cause of chaos. If you support Reza Pahlavi, which has the most amount of support among the Iranian people, and they already have a team and a plan in place to what to do, and all the people there ready to basically hit the ground running as soon as the regime falls, then we're going to have very little chaos. And like John is saying, yeah, the main source of chaos in the region is the Islamic Republic. So by removing the Islamic Republic, that's an anti chaos move, not a yeah, exactly. And again, thank you for the super chat. By the way, are there? I think I started the stream a little bit too late, right? Did are there many Israelis in the chat, or did they go to sleep? I was supposed to do a stream at night for Israelis because the earlier stream I did today was too early, so Israelis were asleep because they haven't woken up yet. And now I'm doing a stream where it's too late and Israelis have fallen asleep. So I think I made a mistake today. So, oh, still awake? Okay, so I'm up, still awake. Okay, okay, Ginga is here. I'm out, but I'm awake. Okay, okay, so good. There are, yeah. I was just going to sleep. Yes, hi. Okay, good. I was like, oh shit, I should have started this stream a bit earlier. Okay, I'm gonna try to do better, guys. Today I started a stream that was too early for Israel, and then did another stream that is too late for Israel. Okay, Vic is saying sleeping in 2 to 3 hours. Buddy hasn't realized the bombs haven't stopped yet. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh wow, there's so many Israelis in the chat. Oh, we got a super chat. Let's respond to the super chat. Mo the Good is saying, saw a video of Iranian talking with Israelis. Talking with Israeli, he was upset. He was proud of the power Iran showed. He said Iranians are angry at least because they stopped. Is it true? Is it fair to blame Israel? He was upset. He was proud of the power of Iran showed. Okay, you have to be clear. Are you talking about the power of the Iranian people or the regime? Because at first I thought he's like a pro-regime person, and but then he said Iranians are angry at Israel because they stopped. Okay, so let me be clear. Iranians do not have the same view. Iranians, just like the people of every okay, regime, where he was pro-regime. Okay, so Iranian, like more the goat. Can you explain in the chat? I'm gonna look at my phone to. Was this a pro-regime person? Let me just tell you, we have so many different views, okay? And I'm gonna try to guess how big each one is, okay? So we have pro-regime people. Obviously, the pro-regime people are angry with Israel. They're on the side of the regime, and among the pro-regime people, I would say around like half of them, probably maybe less actually, are deluded enough to think that they actually won this war, that Israel was humiliated, and the Islamic Republic had uh, won this war. Okay, and among some other pro-regime people, some of them know that this was actually a defeat, that the Islamic Republic, even though they're pro-regime, they feel humiliated, and they think that the regime, they're very worried that the regime is actually not capable of responding. Okay, and they think that the regime, they're very scared because they think the regime might actually collapse. So among the pro-regime people, how big this portion is, we're talking around less than 10% of the population are pro-regime, right? And the pro-regime people are divided. Half of them, like let's say again, I don't know exactly half or not, but some of them think that they actually won this war in this 12-day war, and half of them think that no, we were humiliated and this is embarrassing. Okay, so among the anti-regime. Okay, and also we have a whole bunch of Iranians who are neither pro-regime or anti-regime. They just want to survive. Okay, they're just trying to live. They're like, I just don't want to die. Okay, like how do I don't like how do I just not die? Okay, that's another group of Iranians. Among the anti-regime people, we have some anti-regime people who are anti the regime, but are also anti-Israel. They consider the regime in Iran to be criminal, but they think Israel is also criminal. These are mostly, not all, mostly the leftist opposition to the Islamic Republic. Again, I'm generalizing here. I'm simplifying it. Okay, so these are anti-regime leftist people. Okay, so they hate the regime, but they also hate Israel. They then we have some people who hate the regime. They're not very passionate about Israel, for or against Israel. They are anti-regime. They are not really pro-Israel, but they're not anti-Israel either. They blame the Islamic Republic for bringing this war upon them. But they don't go on, like they wouldn't go around be like, yay, Israel as well either. Okay. And then we have some anti-regime people who are aggressively pro-Israel, and they see Israel as their main ally against the regime. Those people exist as well. Um, so those are the three categories of the anti-regime people. Okay. And the third category, which is the growing category, they are who are anti-regime and also pro-Israeli, are also mostly the pro-Reza Pahlavi people. The pro-Reza Pahlavi people are people who are anti-regime, and mostly like the Venn diagram. It's not like it's not 100% the same, but the overlap is the most. If you are most Iranians who are pro Reza Pahlavi are at the same time anti-regime and pro-Israel. Does that answer your question, Mo? Like, does that these are the categorization? So, and when the war started, when this war started, when the 12-day war started, what we saw. Oh wow, thank you, FLP. That's a major super chat. I'll respond to that. What we saw was some people, some anti-regime people coming out and becoming so, having their rally around the flag effect and becoming a little bit more pro-regime and anti-Israeli because of the war starting, and a huge portion of Iranians who were anti-regime becoming very aggressively pro-Israel because they were so grateful because of so many of the IRGC officers being taken out. Again, so now the main question is, okay, so there seems to be, I mean, these are so many categories of the Iranian people. There's so many opinions here. I mean, of course, we're talking about a population of more than 90 people. What do you expect? Obviously, there's going to be a diverse set of opinions here. Okay, but the question is like, okay, who has the upper hand? Which one is higher in number? And the answer is we don't have scientifically collected data to be able to know for sure. But based on my activism and my involvement, which is not scientifically collected data, but my guess is that last category is growing the fastest. The last category, meaning that more anti-regime Iranians are becoming pro-Israeli very, very fast because they see Israel as their only hope. Yeah. Yeah, Mike is saying 90 million. Yeah, 90 million. If you include Iranians inside and outside, yeah, more than 90 million for sure. Okay, we got, first of all, Hirschfeld, thank you so much for the super chat saying Some Israelis are here. Well, thank you for being here, even though it's late. I appreciate you guys being here. And holy crap, FLP, that's a major super chat. That's very generous. Thank you so much, FLP, saying thank you. Well, guys, that's like, I really appreciate that, FLP. FLP saying, Armin, and all in the chat. Been too long since I was able to be live with everyone. Miss you and all. Miss you all. Was watching the stream with Susie, and this popped up. Sending Susie love as well. We are all living in a major historical time today, in my opinion. Oh yeah, you're so right about that. Like we're seeing things shifting in completely different directions. Like these are the days that we're living in. These are they deserve their own chapters in history, like a full-on chapter just dedicated to this past couple of days, for sure. And FLP, thank you so much for that message. And again, thank you so much for being so generous. That's a major support of this channel. I appreciate that. Oh, by the way, this there's this guy, this Jack guy in the chat who's constantly saying that he wants socialism, he's pro-Palestine, and he's calling Pahlavi a puppet, which is pretty good that he's saying that, because it shows the anti-Pahlavis are in Iran are also, like, you can see the people who are anti-Pahlavi are also anti-Israeli, so-called pro-Palestinian, and leftists, right? And that shows how important, how good it is to be pro-Pahlavi, because the people who are anti-Pahlavi basically have the worst ideas. They support the so-called Palestinian cause. They are far leftists. They're anti-Israeli, and that's why Israelis should basically support Pahlavi, because everybody who's anti, like most people who are anti-Pahlavi are the people who are have the shittiest ideas. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Amakai, I really don't like you saying. What do you mean free Kurdistan? This is very dangerous. Guys, do not advocate for an independent Kurdistan. Do not. You have to respect the country's border integrity. If you want the Kurdish people to live better lives, you should just fight for their rights under the countries that they're living in right now. Like, we there are a lot of people here in the Middle East who are pro-Israeli, who are basically supporting the border integrity. They're in defense of supporting the border integrity of Israel. So when you come and say free Kurdistan, you're basically are suggesting that you don't respect the border integrity of Iran, Syria, Iraq, Turkey. That is a very dangerous thing to say, especially because a free Kurdistan will basically, a whole so-called free Kurdistan means that that will completely mobilize a cessationist Kurdish uprising in Iran as well. Oh, Jack is saying unsub. I mean, I don't think that's a major loss, Jack. I think that's good for our channel. I mean, I don't even know, Jack. Why the hell were you even subbed to this channel? You're saying you're pro-Palestine, you're a leftist, and you're pro-anti-Pahlavi, and you're anti-Israeli. Like, what the hell were you even doing here? Like, why, why were you even like? Why were you even subbed to begin? Why were you even subscribed to begin with? Like, what the hell? Hey, Roy is here. Oh, Roy say can't stay. Came here to just poke the algorithm. Well, thank you, Roy. Thank you for poking the algorithm. Appreciate that. But guys, it's really important not to give into uh, supporting any Kurdish cessationist movement. You know, you don't mess with the current existing borders already, because a lot of Israelis, not a lot actually, some Israelis, when they look at the Kurdish cessationist movement, they kind of think like, oh, that's similar to Israel basically fighting for its own independent, like fighting for it having a country. Like, oh, we Jews got together and made a country, so Kurds fight getting together and fighting to have their own country. That's the same thing. It's not the same thing. Okay, it's not the same thing. First of all, most Kurds, especially in Iran, are nationalists. They're patriotic. They are Iranian first, Kurdish second, and the Kurdish cessationists represent a small minority of the opinions in Kurdish Iranians. One, okay. Two, when Israel came, when Jews came back to the Middle East to create Israel, uh, that area belonged to no country. There were no borders there. That area belonged to the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was no more, so they weren't changing any borders. Borders were being made, and Israel, the Jews took advantage of the opportunity there and created a country in an area where it belonged to no country at that time. There was no nation state there. It was an empire before. The empire had fallen, so you weren't missing when Israel was created. No country's border integrity was being challenged. So this is not the same. Right now, in the areas that some Kurdish separatists want to create a country, we already have nation states there, and you're basically messing up with other countries' border integrity, and you shouldn't be doing that. Right? The era of making like back then, especially after World War One, that was, and then maybe even after during World War Two, that was your time to create countries. Now it's over. Now we don't want to mess with that. Now we want to keep the borders where they are at, unless there is a referendum within a country and there are peaceful ways to going about doing that. So no, 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 thank you, no more. It's only going to cause chaos. Right now, the borders are good where they are at. If you want to support the rights of Kurdish people, and if you want to stop anti-Kurdish bias and oppression of Kurdish people, then we have to fight for their rights under the framework, under the nation states that they're already in. Not creating no more new countries. We don't want to mess with borders anymore. Yeah, okay. So here, Aryan is saying, Armin, the Kurds are an ethnic Iranic people anyway, so you're correct. It makes no sense for them to have an independent country since they were always part of the overall Iranian culture. I mean, yeah, that's true. But however, I don't even care about ethnicity. Okay, we don't care about ethnic identities here at this channel. We care about national identities. Okay, the Kurds of Iran are Iranian. I don't care if you're Kurdish, Azeri, Persian, Baluchi, Bakhtiari, Gileki, anything, okay? Arab, it doesn't matter. You are Iranian, and your national identity is what we care about. We don't care about your ethnic identity. What we care about is creating an Iran where all Iranians have equal rights because of their citizenship, and they don't get, if you're a Kurd or a Persian in Iran, you have equal rights. So you should have equal rights under our new secular democratic country after the fall of the Islamic Republic. We should make it that you wouldn't care that you're a Kurd, because you get all the equal rights as any other Iranian citizen. So it wouldn't make any sense to even talk about cessation. Your identity, what matters to us is not that you're Kurd. What matters to us is that you're a citizen of Iran. That's what matters to us. And that's what should matter to you. If you're an Azeri Iranian, it shouldn't really matter to you that you're Azeri. If you're an Iranian Kurd, it shouldn't really matter to you that you're Kurd. It should matter to you that you're an Iranian. We got another super chat. By the way, guys, thank you so much for all these super chats. We got so many super chats today. Oh, wait, I forgot this one. Secular Sakai, hi. Secular Sakai is saying, well, let me actually unstar these other super chats. We got two more super chats. Secular Sakai is saying, how can Reza Pahlavi come to power? Logistics network to support Iranians. Logistics networks to support Iranians against the regime seem small currently on the Iraqi Turkish borders. Could opponents of the regime in Armenia or Azerbaijan help? Okay, so how could Reza Pahlavi come to power? So there's three phases. We have the revolution phase, we have the transition phase, and then we have the after transition phase when we have a new secular democratic government. Okay, so the revolution phase is the one that we're in right now. Okay, so when it comes to the revolution phase, we don't Reza Pahlavi is not somebody who actually comes in and does the military operations, right? Like, we don't need him to come to the border and force himself in. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is uh, a unit, unity between the Iranian people and Israeli people. The Iranian people are not armed. None of these countries that you mentioned are interested in getting involved in being involved in such operations. The only country that is armed and has both the political capital and also the military capability to help is Israel. So when it comes to foreign aid, it's only Israel that could help, and it also has the interest. Okay, because none of these other countries will. I mean, Iraq would be a horrible place to do such a thing, because given that the regime has a lot of assets there. So yeah, the only country that could do any form of external pressure on the Islamic Republic, and has the motivation to do so, would be Israel. Internally, it's only the Iranian people that could help uh, with a popular uprising. However, the problem is that they are not armed, but that's why they need the help of Israel. And eventually, if the Israel could disarm enough of IRGC and the Basij and Nir Intizami, what we're hoping is that the Iranian people will rise up themselves and basically go and conquer most of the bases, most of the government bases in Iran, for us to be able to come and declare that the regime has fallen. Taking out Khamenei would be a major step in that direction, for example, right? So that's the revolution phase. And then we have the transition phase, which Reza Pahlavi and Nufti, which is the team that is around him, have already a very detailed plan, and they have the experts in place to do the transition period. The transition period is when we have a temporary government to come and just make sure that the things are happening, the banks are running, the police is working, things are not chaotic, setting everything up for a referendum for people to come and be able to choose the type of government. And that has to be done under the leadership of Reza Pahlavi, because basically there's no one else. Okay, and I think that I hope that the only way that we could Israel or maybe the United States could come provide the security of that happening when we bring Reza Pahlavi into Iran to manage the transition phase. And again, the good thing is that all of that has already been planned by Reza Pahlavi's team, right? And then after the transition phase, we have the government. So we're going to have a referendum where the Iranian people are going to choose between a constitutional monarchy or a republic without a monarch. Basically, these are the two main options. And after that, they're going to elect the assembly that writes the constitution. And after that, we're going to have an election where we choose the members of parliament, and we're going to have a prime minister. Either we're going to have a prime minister and a president if the Iranian people during the referendum chose for a republic without a monarch, or we're going to have a prime minister and a king if the Iranian people chose a constitutional monarchy. So those are the three phases that we're going to be in. I don't know if that answers your question, Secular Sakai. But like, doing anything from, so Iraqi borders makes no sense because the Islamic Republic has a lot of assets there. Turkish borders makes no sense because Turkey would be very much against in cooperating and causing any regime change. um so Armenia again makes no sense because Armenia and the Islamic Republic are, you know, too much in line for that to work. So Armenia would not be interested in causing any of that. Azerbaijan, maybe. Okay, but Azerbaijan seems to have already been cooperating with Israel when it comes to taking positions against Islamic Republic. So Azerbaijan, if it, like, might be, but again, again, this is not going to be operations on the border on of Iran. You know, this is going to be Israel doing mostly, you know, air operations with drones and fighter jets doing their thing. Anything that happens on the ground doesn't need to be happening on the borders of Iran. Anything that happens on the ground will be happening by the Iranian people, because we're not. If you're talking about like Azerbaijan or any other country, it seems to me that you're suggesting maybe having troops on the ground on the borders of Iran. But there's no country that will be providing the troops on the boots on the ground to be able to do any operations. United States has no appetite for anything like that, and Israel doesn't have the capacity. Is when it comes to boots on the ground, Israel only has the capacity to do such a thing in Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria. It doesn't have, like, Iran is so vast, it's so big, and it doesn't. Israel doesn't share a border with Iran, so it doesn't. And the Israel doesn't have enough soldiers to carry out such an operation. So anything that happens on the ground needs to be done by the Iranian people, and that's unfortunate because the Iranian people are not armed, so the cost associated with that is so high. So I don't see anything happening on the borders of Iran. It's either air power or the power of the Iranian people. There's nothing else. I think I'd really answered that question in great detail, huh? I think that was good. We got another super chat by Bala here. Bala saying, "Hi Armin, it's good to see you back. I mean, I have been here for a long time. Are you not getting? You know what, Bella? You should turn on the notifications on this channel. Okay. So I think the problem is that you're subscribed, but you haven't turned on the. You have to click on the bell button. Are you talking about my trip? Because I was gone for only 10 days. Yeah, but God, Bella, make sure you hit the bell notification so that YouTube tells you that when I'm going live. Okay. So Bala saying, "Hi, Armin, it's good to see you back. What is your opinion about anti-regime Iranians who do not want intervention from West Israel, but also want to fight alone?" Anti-regime Iranians. Okay, so we are dealing with them on the Persian channel all the time. Okay, we call them fake opposition because and they're also mostly leftist opposition. So let me actually do you guys want me to get into more details on the politics of the opposition in Iran, like against the regime by Iranians? Do you guys want me to go into more details? Right? Because if a simplified version of it, like if I wanted to tell you, we have the, oh yeah, yes please, okay, so let me actually tell you. Okay, so among the opposition we have Padashahi Khaha and Jumhuri Khaha. Okay, so Padashahi Khaha means the monarchists and Jumhuri Khaha means Republicans. So in Iran, Republicans are considered to be leftist mostly, not all but mostly. Again, I'm simplifying. We have Republicans who are more somewhat right leaning, but again, I'm simplifying. The monarchists are supposed to be, on average, more right leaning. Again, there are monarchists who are left leaning. I'm just simplifying, right? So, leftists who are also Republicans means that when they say Republican, they means that they don't want a monarchy. Okay, that's what they mean by Republican. Again, because this might be confusing to a lot of Americans, because in America, when you hear Republican, you think right leaning. But in Iran, when you say Republican, you think left leaning, because Republican means not monarchy, and monarchist usually means anti leftist, usually, not always, right? So in Iran, leftist means that when you say leftist, means it usually also means that the people who were responsible for the 1979 Islamic Revolution, but because the Islamic Republic eventually turned against them, they're now anti the Islamic Republic. So a lot of Iranians opposition don't trust them because they are anti-regime now, but they used to be pro-regime. Like, these are the people responsible for bringing the Islamic Republic into power. The whole reason why we had the 1979 Islamic Revolution was because the leftists and Islamists were uh, basically got united against the monarchy, against the Pahlavi at that time, and they brought down the Pahlavi dynasty, because the Marxists and the Islamists, they usually see eye to eye until they win, and they all after that I mean, this keeps happening. So usually, what happens is that the Marxists and Islamists, they work with each other against the imperialist puppets and the imperialist world order, and then they win at some point, and then the Islamists turn on the leftists and they eliminate the leftists, and the leftists regret. Uh, and it keeps happening again and again. This is why we keep telling the Europeans that and Americans that this and Canadians that this seems to be happening again in your country, and we lost the country because of this. So be warned, okay? So what happens is that when the Marxists and the Islamists united against each other, against the Pahlavi, because they saw Pahlavi, I mean, the reason why the Islamists were anti-Pahlavi and the Marxists were anti-Pahlavi is because they both consider him to be Western, too much pro-Western powers, too modern, too liberal, and they didn't like that. So they both had a common enemy against the Pahlavi. So they united, okay? But then when the Pahlavi fell, all of a sudden the Islamists like notice how degenerate these and godless these leftists are, and they use the leftists to win. Because remember, leftists are not as, when it comes to violence and firepower and networking among the people, the leftists are basically incapable. So they use the barbarians, which is basically the Islamists, to basically uh, have the networking among the people and also have the violence that the Islamists bring with themselves. And the Islamists use the leftists to basically, because they don't have as much influence in academia and in the media, and they don't also have the political know-how that the leftists have. So they both basically fill in the gap, the ones that the other side doesn't have, right? So they work with each other, and the Islamists bring the barbarity and the networking among the people, and the leftists will bring the academia and the political know-how to do the things, and that's how they complete each other. And then when they win, the Islamists will be look at the leftists and like, okay, these are degenerate, godless people. So they start executing the leftist people, and then the leftists become opposition. And this is why a lot of Iranians, they don't trust the leftists, even though they are opposition now against the Islamic Republic. We don't trust them because they are the ones who actually started this whole mess, right? And this is why a lot of people, like, I consider myself a Republican, but I have joined the monarchist camp not because I am pro monarchy, but because I prefer the monarchists, because they're not they're no they're when I look at the republic, the people who are Republican in Iran, their camp has the cessationists, the MEK, the leftists, the reformists in them. Okay, so even though I'm technically not a monarchist, I look at the monarchist side and I see that most of the patriotic nationalist people who are pro Pahlavi and also respect the border integrity of Iran, they are on the monarchist side. So I don't care. I really don't really care about the form of the government. I really care more about the essence, the values that each side is advocating for. And I look at the monarchy side and I see, like, okay, most of my people, even though I'm not a monarchist, most of the people who are pro border integrity, pro Reza Pahlavi, pro Israel, pro liberal values, pro patriotism, pro nationalism, pro secularism, um, and anti leftist views, they are all on the monarchist side. So basically, that's why I lean towards the monarchists, not because I'm a monarchist myself, but because they're all just gathering over there. Right. So this is why. Does that make sense? Like, I hope like I'm explaining this to you guys. Right. Um, and honestly, more and more people, Iranians, are moving into that direction. And we have basically, and it's very easy to tell that the Pahlavi side or the monarchist side is the right side, because the Pahlavi side is also more pro-Israeli. The Pahlavi side is also more patriotic. The Pahlavi side is also more pro-border integrity. The Pahlavi side is also more pro-Western. Like these leftists, they might be anti-Islamic Republic, but a lot of them are also anti-Western imperialism, anti-Israel. A lot of these leftists who might be anti-regime in Iran, they're also pro the so-called Palestinian cause. So yeah, fuck that. Like, we don't want them. You guys, is like, did I paint a good picture? The good news is that many Iranians are very anti-leftist. Okay, very very anti. Again, by leftist, I don't mean left-leaning views. But there are some left-leaning views that are good. Okay, I have some left-leaning views. I have some right-leaning views, but I also have some left-leaning views. When I say leftist, I'm talking about Marxists and woke people, and so-called pro-Palestinian cause uh, humor that is spreading around. Okay, and the good thing in Iran is because we lost the country to these because of these people. They're very very unpopular, so much so that leftist is a swear word among many Iranians. Like sometimes in on the Persian channel, when somebody wants to swear at me, they just call me a leftist as if it's a swear word, which is good. I like that. I mean, I like when I'm being when somebody's swearing at me and calling me a leftist. Like I'm like, I don't know why you have a beef with me. I don't know what your problem with me is, but I really like the fact that you're using that as a swear word. I like how unpopular that is in Iran. So that I kind of like that. Call them chapul. So I that was a full explanation, Bala. Like, was that good? I basically broke it down for you. That makes sense. Oh yeah, Sam is saying in Israel it's the same. I don't know if that's. I don't know if it's as fair in Israel for leftists to be a swear word, because like we are like the Iranian people. I mean, I understand how in Israel some people are frustrated with leftists, but in Iran, you have to understand everything was going in the right direction in Iran. Like under the Pahlavis, the economy, healthcare, education, our culture, the authority of the Iranian passport, the technology industry, everything was growing exponentially fast until these mother effing leftists and these mother effing Islamists came out and stopped it. And we went from the fastest growing, most advanced country, not just in the Middle East. We were the fastest progressing country, one of the fastest progressing countries in the whole world. We went from that to now being one of the most shittiest countries on the planet because of the unity of the leftists and Islamists. And it happened like that. It happened. We were one of when it comes to the military, education, technology. Iran was one of the most advanced countries in the world when it comes to human rights. We were even ahead of some European countries, and fastly, like really rapidly growing in the right direction. Like Iran's economy could have been as big as Germany's economies today if the Islamic Revolution didn't happen in 1979. That's how fast we were growing. And this is why Europeans and Canadians and Americans should be worried, because they might think like this could not happen to their own country, because like yeah, it happens in the Middle East, but it won't happen in Europe. Honestly, if you look, the only reason why you think that this could happen in the Middle East now is because it happened, and now Middle East is so chaotic that it's normal for the Middle East to be this chaotic. But it wasn't normal for, like, before it happened in Iran, you could not imagine it happening in Iran. Like at the level how advanced Iran was, an Islamic revolution happening was unimaginable. And then it happened. So take this warning very seriously. The only reason why now you think this is normal for the Middle East is because ever since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, the Islamic Republic has caused so much chaos in the Middle East that chaos and Middle East just goes together. Like you just think that it's normal for the Middle East, but it wasn't the case. It wasn't like that. I mean, not at least not with Iran. So please understand that things could change like that if you're not careful. Take the whole leftist Islamic threat very seriously. Your countries could be next. Nail Bunny, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Saying I was just on a hangout with Peter again. I never can pronounce this last name properly. Bogosian, Peter Bogosian. Did I pronounce it right? And you're saying okay, and then you say I was educating everyone on Iran, gave him your details, and asked him to interview you. He said he would. Oh, really? Really? Okay. Well, let me actually. Do you give him my email? Here's my email. And guys, I yeah, because he's a. Oh, you already gave him. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, thank you. That's fantastic. Well, thank you, Nail Bunny. That's really great. It would be an honor for me. That's fantastic. Well, thank you. Thank you. You gave me a super chat to tell me that you went and did this. That's fantastic. By the way, guys, that's a really good way to support this channel. If you could find like big platforms, again, big platforms. Again, I really need to do everything I can to grow this channel. Okay. So don't like if a channel is as small, then it's not going to make much sense for me to go put that much time into it because my time is very very limited. But big, like not like it doesn't have to be like really really big, like relatively decent sized audience. If you could get them to email me and have me as a guest, that might be a very good way to grow Atheist Republic on YouTube, huh? These types of collabs, right? Yeah, but yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. And then yeah, FLP is saying, dude, that's awesome. Oh, really? What the hell? Holy crap! I almost missed this. FLP is saying, dude, that's awesome. Tusi also said he would chat with you. By the way, Armin, he did. He did. Make it happen. What do I do then next? FLP, are you sure? That's great. I thought he might not want to talk to me because I one time I disagreed with him on something. Maybe he hasn't seen that. Huh? I hope maybe he hasn't seen that I disagreed with him. Okay, maybe I should go delete. Should I go delete those videos? Guys, if like Dark is saying he's warming up. He's warming up. Guys, should I go delete the videos that I have that I disagree with Tusi on something? Just in case he comes and like, oh, who is this Armin? Should I go talk to him? And then he comes and sees those videos. I'm like, maybe not. I'm not gonna talk to him. Oh no, Armin is snitching on himself. Yes. Yeah, guys, don't show him those videos. Please. Oh, FLP saying that was like on one of his shows. Someone asked if he would do a show with you, and he said yes. Holy crap. Guys, why didn't you tell me earlier? Okay, FLP is saying Tusi is mad chill. He probably don't mind. Okay, good. So I don't have to go delete those videos. Good. Okay, fantastic. Wow, this is gonna be great, guys. If I get on Tusi TV, that would be a game changer for our channel. Make it happen, guys. Keep telling him. Keep telling him. If you keep telling him, then he's gonna be like, "Who's this guy?" Everybody's telling me about in my live chat. Yeah, maybe super chat him. Tell him with super chat. John, his channel is so much bigger. Obviously, it's going to be a big deal for our channel if I get on his channel. Yeah, so yeah, go tell Tusi to have me on his channel. That would be that would be a if I get to go on his channel and also mention Atheist Republic, then some of his subscribers might come here and support us as well. Oh, Sarah, we got another super chat. Sarah saying, should Israel use air dominance to drop leaflets? I mean, dropping leaflets in Iran to do what exactly? Because in Iran, we already have, I mean, we have social media, and Iranian people are very active on social media. So you could, I mean, the best thing to do is just for Mossad to just be active on social media. And also, the pro Israelis in Iran are already rapidly growing. I think Mossad is doing, but I mean, you could reach more Iranians by being active on social media in Persian more than leaflets. So that's what I think. It's already working. Yeah. I mean, leaflets made sense for Gaza because I think to and that was not used. The point of leaflets for Gaza was not to tell people to convince people, was to basically tell them which way to move to so that they don't get bombed. To that and at the time that they were dropping the leaflets, I think it was at that time a lot of people didn't have access to internet, so that's why the leaflets were necessary in Gaza. But I think the Iranian people just the IDF has a lot of Persian social media accounts that is talking to the Iranian people, and now they also have a lot of Mossad is also now opening Persian accounts. You know what? You know what Israel should do? Israel should invest in me, okay? Because I have a Persian audience, and maybe invest like you want that would be a better return on your investment than dropping leaflets, okay? Because I have a I have a Persian channel, and it's a growing Persian channel, and we have a good decent sized audience there. So how about me? How about how about Israel supporting me? That would be good. I mean, that would be amazing. Have been trying to get hired by Mossad for ages, for ages. Yeah. Yes. So okay, guys, this stream that I just did has been very educational. I think we went over a lot of details, right? Like we talked about a lot of details regarding the opposition in Iran that you're not going to see in many other places. Like, if you guys want me to go into more details, like ask me those detailed questions, and I will go into more details. Because, guys, like the drama in Iranian politics or in the opposition is like daily. Like I'm in the middle of it. Um, I'm right in the middle of it, and I'm actually, guys. Let me actually tell you, I'm actually a big deal on the Persian side. Okay, like within the Iranian politics, most people, the vast majority of the people who are active in the opposition in Iran, they know me because I am right in the middle of the opposition. I'm active. Like, I'm not just a content producer on the Iranian side. I'm considered one of the activists in opposition within Iran. And my work is known. I am known. I get actually quoted by big names within the opposition in Iran. Okay. So, and I'm involved in the daily drama or the infighting or the politics of that. I have a front row seat because I'm right in the middle of it. Okay, I actually cause some of it sometimes, right? Like some of the things, some of the narratives that became popularized, like we started it on the Persian channel, right? The Atheist Republic Persian channel, which is Jomhuriye Bi Khodayan. So I could get so detailed, like I might, like sometimes I think like I don't know how detailed you want me to get, but if you ask me if you ask me the questions, I will answer them. So Jewish Samantha is saying, get Reza Pahlavi on your show. I almost like this 12-day war basically stopped how Reza Pahlavi had said yes to somebody regarding coming on my show twice. I got a yes from him twice, and I was this close to having him on. And then all of a sudden, Israel attacked, and Reza Pahlavi became so in demand on international media, and now he's unreachable. So, I mean, you could have started the attack like just 2 or 3 days later, and I probably might have had Reza Pahlavi on the show, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But he already had said yes. So there's that. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. This is me. This is me not being mad. Look at me. This is my face not being mad. I'm okay. 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 All right. Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to go get tell more people should tell Tusi to have me on his channel, and subscribe to this channel. Subscribe here. If you want to support this channel, one way is to become a member. Membership, more people becoming members on this channel really helps this channel. So thank you for that for anybody who's already a member. And also, subscribing is not enough, especially with this new format of us going live. You're not going to know that we're live, probably, unless you hit the bell notification. Okay, so make sure you also hit the bell notification. Also, Israelis, sorry for keeping you awake. I know some people were stayed awake because I was going live, so you could go to sleep now. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, and also Tusi raid. Yes, guys, do a Tusi raid. People on the chat on the 2C TV channel, keep mentioning this channel and tell him bring Armin up. Go, yeah, I like it. No, don't spam him though. Don't spam him. Okay, don't 2C raid, but short of like I don't want to be responsible for causing a spam on his live chat. I mean, honestly, his chat is already too busy. I don't think we are capable of doing anything like that. But yes, everybody go tell 2C. Yeah, don't spam his live chat, okay? But yeah, but that would be great. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. Love you guys. I'm Israel Khai, Javicha, and bye bye. Why am I speaking like Trump? I don't know. Bye.